This is a follow-up, more or less, to the video I released this morning. I recorded that late last night. I didn't want to release it in the middle of the night, so I released it early this morning. And we do have some updates on the situation regarding Rooster Teeth's, hopefully soon, ex-VP of Products and Engineering. We will see if they issue a statement and what they do about all of this. But right now, here is the update. And also, let me mention that I'm going to be a bit more watered down in this video. The video I released earlier, I really didn't hold much back in terms of language and the graphic detail of what occurred. And unfortunately, to no surprise, the video got restricted. Now, I always have a tough situation when it comes to these things because I'd like to report on it just as is. But a lot of the time with situations like this, if I report on it as is, the content is quite explicit. The video gets restricted and it won't get promoted. It won't get very many views and I won't even get paid, which is important. I do need to pay for the electricity, the roof over my head, and this sort of thing as well. So it's a tough spot to be in, man. I don't want to redact information, but at the same time, I don't want the video to get restricted. So here's what I'm doing. The last video, if you haven't seen it already, go ahead and watch it. You'll get me straight up and the news straight up. And here is the watered down version, so to speak, with some updates to be fair. And also the community's response to this. Absolutely disgusting how some people are just white knighting for Rooster Teeth, acting like they do nothing wrong. Throughout 2019, we've had many incidents of Rooster Teeth's wrongdoings, and these people still stand by them, acting like whatever problems RT has, it's not their problem. They're innocent, and they can do no wrong. It's disgusting. I'll see you in just a moment. Welcome back. Here is the updated information. I took some key highlights and compiled them into this document, and I also wanted to do that so I could avoid the graphic details that got the previous video restricted. But if you are not aware of the situation, I'll fill you in once we get past this briefing. This is the mugshot of 39-year-old Michael Quinn, courtesy of the Austin Police Department. This is posted and reported originally by KXAN. They call themselves the Texas NBC affiliate over at Austin. The Austin, Texas NBC affiliate. There you go. From their about on their website. And then here's the update to the story. Now, before we get to the update, let me fill you in now if you're not aware of what occurred. This Quinn guy, this scumbag, and again, I'm holding my tongue in this video, guys. If you haven't seen my earlier one and you want my full opinion on this, watch that video because I need to do what I can to, as I said, ensure this doesn't get restricted again. This piece of garbage apparently had done a number of things to his wife. Terrible physical things, emotional things going on multiple times. Sometimes she blacked out over it and he laughed over it, and she's not even safe for their own child, their daughter, either. That is the very limited TLDR that I can give you guys on that without getting into the graphic details. It's absolutely disgusting. And to be fair, so far this is still alleged. But given the update here, it does seem like there will be proceedings. Let's get into that. So they write, in an arrest warrant, the wife of a vice president at Austin-based company Rooster Teeth, and then a little area here, Quinn's wife said in the affidavit that he works at Rooster Teeth Productions as the VP of Product and Engineering. A LinkedIn account also lists Michael Quinn in Austin as the VP of Product and Engineering, stating that Quinn has served in that role for 3 years and 9 months. He's also listed, at least last time I checked, last night, on the Rooster Teeth Wikipedia as such. And also, there are Reddit posts about a year ago regarding Quinn and his work at RT. So you also have those corroborating that if you want to look that up. Where the case stands. Court records show that an emergency protective order was issued, barring Quinn from contacting or going near his wife and several other people. So that's the update here. Several other people. Did they find some more information out already? Because originally, it sounded like this was an isolated incident to his wife and potentially also the daughter. Disgusting. But this also implies that there could be some other people as well that this order is now issued for, as you can see. It goes on. Quinn has also been barred from possessing a firearm on the night of November 18th. Oh, and that fits the story. I don't know if that's standard. I imagine it is when you have someone who's been accused of absolutely disgusting things like this. But that also does fit some of the claims leveled against him regarding the wife being threatened with such. Continuing, On the night of November 18th, online records showed that Quinn had been arrested and booked into the Travis County Jail with a bond set at $100,000. The Travis County Sheriff's Office explained that he was released on a personal recognizance bond on November 20th. Man, I'm struggling to talk about this because this is so disturbing. It really is. TCSO said the detective is not willing to publicize any details of his active investigation at this time. That recognizance bond, whatever, however you say it, whatever, what that's about is he acknowledges that he will not engage in any other illegal activities and that he will have to show up for his future court appearances and that sort of thing. Basically, that's what that means. And now we have some people that were defending Rooster Teeth. I cannot believe some of this stuff, man. So we get a post like this. RT must be begging for this year to be over by now. Unless this is addressed in an unsatisfactory way, this isn't really on RT. Isn't really on RT. Well, you know, Vic was accused of things much less than this. Of hugging people and touching their hair, basically. And they severed him because, you know, people were saying it would affect RT. And now, conveniently, you have someone like this who's much more than just a voice actor, a VP. And these claims are way worse than anything Vic was, they were claiming Vic has done, excuse me. And some of these people just turn a blind eye. It's so sickening. These people's morals, and I gotta be watching myself here. These people's morals are so twisted. They would rather just stand the company that's had terrible news coming out all 2019 and has been getting exposed for more and more disgusting practices and such, as opposed to just admitting that, you know what, maybe this company isn't what we thought it was. Listen, I used to love Rooster Teeth myself. I still tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. Even last week in a Ruby video I made criticizing Ruby, I mentioned that I was glad I could at least give Rooster Teeth a compliment on some of the writing with the scene between Crow and Clover. I've been giving them the benefit of the doubt, despite criticizing them in 2019. And man, with this now, this on top of everything else, it's as I said before, it's beyond me. Let's move on. What else happened this year? So this guy's out of the loop. How can you be out of the loop on this stuff, but be on like you go out of your way to post on the Rooster Teeth Reddit, but you're somehow out of the loop on all the news going on with the company? And you know, all is being a bit facetious, but if you follow any of their news, surely you've seen some of the bad news out there. How do you not know about that? I don't get it. But you go out of your way to look up RT stuff. It baffles me. Look at this guy. It says, watch RT haters, SHIT on RT for this, even though this literally has nothing to do with them. Yeah, it's just one of their vice presidents, one of their VPs. Unless RT does nothing, then yes, they should get criticized for letting this guy in the company after this. He's already in the company. What are you talking about? Because he sounds like a straight up psycho? That's putting it very nicely. There's so much worse that can be said about this guy. But the news site says he's arrested, and I really have no idea how that works or what proceeds when your employee gets arrested in the USA. How do you guys handle that? Oh my gosh. You know, let's just move on. We'll be here all day looking at this nonsense. In regards to watch RT haters criticize RT for this, even though this has literally nothing to do with them. The response to that from another Redditor is, I don't see any RT haters out there, but I do feel a little uneasy. It's taking them a while to announce cutting ties with this fellow after there were so many odd tweets about how much they cared about women and feminism from the higher-ups over there in 2015/2016. And even currently, they still do this quite a bit. Back when it was trendy and the boogeymen were just anonymous trolls on Twitter. Now it's been over a week. They've known of the situation. There's not much going on. So that's the other thing. This story is breaking news now, but apparently the article alleged, as this person says, if I recall correctly as well, again, I read this last night, I read it this morning again too, but this specific segment, I don't want to get wrong, but I do believe RT has known about this for longer than it made media coverage. So isn't it interesting how they haven't said anything? They're just waiting to see if maybe no one will notice. Well, it turns out people are noticing. Guys, please like and share this video. Please comment down below. Help the analytics. That's part of why I'm doing a follow-up. To be fair, there is relevant updates here, but that's also the other reason, as I already mentioned. Let's read some more of these, and we'll wrap it up after. I guess at least it isn't one of the known names from RT. Should it die down quickly once he's let go? This comment's good. Interesting how many of these comments come across like they're more concerned about the PR effect on RT rather than the poor woman. Yep, isn't that telling, guys? Isn't that telling? I feel bad for RT. Usually people like this are great at hiding this side of themselves, and they probably never even saw it. Or, the alternative, there's a couple people at RT that are also like this that haven't been exposed yet, and they didn't want to expose this guy because they don't want their skeletons to get exposed either. It says the guy goes off partying a lot with his associates at night. The article said something about that. Wonder how many of those people he parties with are also doing stuff like this. Now, I'm not saying that they all are. I'm not saying anyone is. Again, this is still alleged. But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It sure does, at least to me, especially when you've seen how a lot of the higher-ups at this company seem to completely do a terrible job at running the thing. Some have even been forced out of the company this year, and some have stepped down willingly. Anyways, so this one, dirtbag, glad he was caught. Shame he works for RT. God knows they've had a bad enough year. I've got nothing against RT. Not like they can settle this except fire him and give a statement. You acknowledge that RT has done so much bad in 2019, but then you say you have nothing against them? At what point are you the idiot who just won't accept reality? Because I think a lot of you are getting really close to that line, and I'm being very nice by not saying that's been crossed already. This is absurd. We could go down the list right now. My mind is a bit jumbled up because this story is so messed up, and I'm doing my best to not get this video restricted, so that's where I'm focused right now. But if we go down the line, man, I'll just try to think of some. The crunch time allegations, underpaid animators, first membership price increases from 30 to 300% and no incentives offered, vicious circle, the massive failure that was, Gray and that whole situation, 13% or so of employees laid off, stealing art, apparently, with DC Comics, taking the artist's art, they switched it, the statement they made about that, the Rooster Teeth forums, hijacked by bots that want to send people to websites that they probably don't want to go to. I mean, we could just keep going down the list, but let's finish this up. They need to fire him. I'm not doubting that he did it because it sounds like he did, but they need to wait until he's found guilty. Edit, I see we have people who aren't fans of the Constitution here. I'm really curious if this Steve person was saying that about Vic, too. About Vic back in January or February when RT let him go. Were you also saying that then? They need to wait and see if he's found guilty for anything because Vic hasn't been charged with anything. Not a criminal case. And the litigation that is going on, he's on the prosecuting side. The plaintiff side, excuse me. And then you got people standing for RT with this. It's insane. It's insane, man. Like, these people are not right, in my opinion. I hope this doesn't create bad PR for RT and the fan base won't point fingers. It should suck if the actions in the personal life of an RT executive, who I've never heard of, by the way, would cause backlash. Oh, as if you never heard of them means anything? Like, okay, dude. That doesn't... You not hearing of them is anecdotal, and that's besides the point. The point is, let's also acknowledge this. These, what occurred to the wife and the kid, allegedly, is so disgusting, and a lot of the people on the RT forums are not even talking about it. They go right to Rooster Teeth and hoping that Rooster Teeth is going to be okay. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. Forget the wife and kids, and if they're okay, just be sure Rooster Teeth is okay. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I don't see the necessity of the author dragging Rooster Teeth's name into this. He's got a criminal record now, and they should just fire him after the report. He hasn't been charged with anything yet, so I don't think he has a criminal record now. This is misinformation, unless you have some information that's not public right now. How would you know that? Maybe you do, but I doubt it. There are other companies that had employees get such big companies like Disney, Warner Brothers, which owns RT, Google, like, okay, what's your point? What's your point? We'll see what comes. And, again, look at Vic and how they handled that. And it's relevant because what happened with Vic is way lighter than this, and they let him go super quick. Super quick. And that was not even covered. There was no police involved. There was no news involved right away. It was over Twitter nonsense. And they let him go like this. What does that tell you? If they're dragging their feet on a story like this to let the guy go, what kind of internal politics and BS do you think is going on in that company? What is going on with that company? And again, if that's the case, if there is some internal politics and they're kind of protecting this guy in a way, or at least not trying to spread the story, are they hiding other people up at the top who are involved in similar things that do disgusting things? The story claims that this guy was laughing at what he had done. You think he goes out at night partying with some people who also laugh at what they do to their wives? Oh my god, man. We got one more. Just about. I've already seen a few people laying this at the feet of Rooster Teeth. It is ridiculous to act like this has anything to do with Rooster Teeth. By claiming that it does, you're essentially claiming that RT supports behavior like this. Let's just read it. Look, unless a company is actively spying on the thoughts of its employees and policing individual thought, they can't know if an employee has the capacity for this kind of behavior, and therefore can't take action against it until an incident occurs. What do you expect? Do you expect Rooster Teeth to install cameras? Blah, blah, blah. Of course not. That'd be ridiculous. Blah, blah, blah. As ridiculous as suggesting this is an incident can in any way to consider a reason to criticize RT. It's when you, okay, this story is bad enough in itself, but then when you combine that with everything else in 2019, absolutely, you can start criticizing RT. This is not the first case. This is not the second case. This is not the third case, fourth case, fifth. Dude, this company has had so much BS coming out this year, and this is just another thing. Although this might be one of the worst, if not the worst thing. It's right up there. It depends. It's how you look at it. It really does. I don't want to read all this guy's nonsense, man. Let's just continue on here. We're almost done. This guy says Rooster Teeth is garbage, and this guy says, yeah, here you are. Also, this really has nothing to do with RT as a company. We'll see. We'll see about that. All these rough year for RT comments. Besides this and considerably less upsetting exit of Bernie from the RT podcast, what else went down? I canceled my first membership earlier this year, and I feel out of the loop in general. Please help a brother out. This guy gets -3 downvotes. They don't even want to admit it. RT Forum doesn't want to admit it. RT Reddit doesn't want to admit it. What this guy should do, though, is get off the RT Reddit. They're gonna give you biased answers. Go off of Reddit and look it up yourself. Don't ask people on the Rooster Teeth Reddit for what's going on with the company. Get off your you-know-what and go do the digging yourself, because the information's out there, man. The information's out there. Plenty of sources have talked about this, different media agencies, about the stuff that's been going on in 2019, news outlets, and content creators like myself. I'll talk about myself because I at least know what I've been doing, man. Chances are, if you look up some of this stuff, you'll see some of my videos on Google. That sounds a little egotistical, but it's true. If you look up some of the claims against RT in 2019, you'll see. People are talking about this stuff, man. You don't need to rely on Redditors to answer for you. You can find the information out there. And again, I'll advise people to fact check me too. Don't just listen to me. Go look it up yourself. You'll see. You'll see. People say I make stuff up, man. I just share my opinion on things. There are some times when I break a story, it doesn't happen too often. So that's a very not egotistical thing for me to say. A lot of the time I am just sharing my opinion on things that's already reported. Very few times am I breaking a story, but it has happened, to be fair. It has happened, and it always feels great when I'm able to do that. But that's not the most common situation. These people all get downvoted. Look at this, man. There's massive downvote brigades going on the RT Reddit right now. These people are all downvoted to heck. Wonder what all they were saying. I looked at some of these. To be fair, some of them are not relevant, but a lot of them are criticizing RT. That's all I got on this one.